Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Here's my new favorite design to pour. This is a four-leaf clover, and depending on the temperature at which you pour bismuth, it comes out different colors. All of this is from heat. This is not anodized or anything. And if you look carefully, you can also see the grain size increasing as you up the temperature. Uh, Even to this day, I still find it magical that I can get different colors out of bismuth just by pouring it at different temperatures. And so I returned to making bismuth art. I got to ramp up buying the bismuth though, because if Trump wins, he's promising to add a tariff to Chinese goods. I buy a lot of this on Alibaba, and surprisingly reliable. I tell my friends about buying bismuth on Alibaba, and people think it's a scam and all that. It's not hard to tell if you have real bismuth, right? But none of this would pour out if I had gotten some other metal. And I also know a coin dealer who could test it with an XRF gun, and it's pretty pure, a lot more than I had thought. Uh, anyway, there we have it, five different colors. So I hope to perfect my pouring a little bit more. The backs of these did not turn out very well, by the way. As you get higher and higher temperature, it tends to also warp as it solidifies. That's why it's in a frame. That way you can't see the backs of them. And it's rather heavy. This is 7 pounds of bismuth right here, which also makes it very difficult to sell at the art show, right? Most of my buyers are in the pretty low demographics. Although I hope to get my word out there and eventually sell at more high-end art shows, right? I'm very fortunate that bismuth prices have been kind of flat over the last 2 years during my career, right? Which is why you got to be careful about buying any commodity on leverage, right? So, for example, a lot of gold investors are investing on 10x leverage. If you had invested on 10x leverage with bismuth over the last 2 years, you're out, right? There was a time when bismuth prices crashed by a good 20-25% since the beginning. When I started my bismuth art career, I remember buying it at $8-9 a pound. There was a time when it was closer to $6 a pound. Now it's rebounded a little bit. I bought a lot when it was lower. Had I been on leverage, I would have been out of the game, right? That's why the Hunt brothers failed. And so that's why we want to actually buy. If you don't hold it, you don't own it, right? Especially with bismuth. Right now, as I speak, China is buying a lot of gold. What are they selling to buy? Gold, a lot of strategic metals, right? And I think it's the dumbest thing in the history of all world trade, right? To take metals that are used in solar energy, that are used in nuclear power, and to trade it for a metal that just looks good that you have to then pay money to store. I think that's the dumbest trade in the world, right? And I'm kind of taking advantage of that. And so, not to mention, it's suppressing the price. So what is China doing? They're selling bismuth, suppressing the price in order to buy overpriced gold. And so silver is another good metal to buy at the moment. I'm not sure how China is involved with silver. I don't think they mine a whole lot of silver. But it's your last chance to buy bismuth before the tariffs go into effect, right? I've been buying it hand over fist, right? It seems like every week I'm negotiating with somebody else in Alibaba. And right now there's an exemption on tariffs if you buy less than $800 at a time. So that's usually what I shoot for. And your last chance to buy it without a tariff, right? It kind of reminds me of in 1970. In 1970, just before Nixon was going to close the gold window, imagine you were buying gold every week, right? Now you would have been doing really well, right? That's what I'm trying to think of it as right now, right? Except in 1970, France was dumping dollars for gold, right? Right now in 2024, China is dumping strategic metals for gold, right? And you want to be buying strategic metals now? Yep, in 1970. How did he own gold legally here in the United States? So I'm kind of curious. In 1970, my dad bought gold at $32 an ounce. What did he do? Like, did he turn it into, if I had a furnace back then, right, I could turn it into some kind of jewelry, which wouldn't be confiscated, right? I wonder what it would have been like to be an artist with gold in 1970, right? Making stuff like this, right? I'm trying to enjoy what this is as if it were 1970 all over again, right? All right, I plan to buy another. So please continue to show your support by leaving a dislike. I plan to have 10 tons of bismuth before it's all said and done. I hope to move to Wallace, Idaho eventually. And I'll probably sell some of my bismuth to use as a down payment for a house over there, or to buy a house outright over there if bismuth goes where I think it's going, right? Although Wallace, Idaho might be pretty expensive to live once bismuth goes where I think it goes, because right now their main industry is silver mining with bismuth as a byproduct, right? If bismuth goes where it goes, it might flip around, right? They might be a mainly bismuth mining town with silver as a byproduct, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum.